This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, there's some game developers I gotta call out real quick because I honestly do feel like that they're taking advantage of companies like Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and yeah, pretty much any other store out there that sells video games. But I feel like the main sellers are, the three platforms that I listed off. Steam probably being the biggest of them all, because I feel like with Steam, there isn't really that much of a process when it comes to publishing a game. Like, you could put any old game on Steam. Like, I don't know how many times I ain't seen different games on Steam that's like, it's just, they've been on there for years. And I'm like, fam, how is this game even allowed? You know, it's like there's the one racing game that I played today where I do plan on doing a full-length video on it, so definitely stay tuned for that. But it's this racing game called Le Mans Ultimate. Now, don't get me wrong, the gameplay is good, but the content is at an all-time low. And when I sit down and think about all the different racing games that I played throughout my childhood, throughout my teenage years, and even in my adult years, fam, that video game, for them to be able to call themselves a video game, that's a stretch. But it's like, to be even put in that category as like in racing genres, that's a stretch too. And I really don't understand like the idea of let's release a game, but let's just put out the bare minimum. And overall, it's like, we're just gonna have some people out there that we're friends with talk good about the game. And that's something where I'm like, look, I get it, you want your game to be successful, but in order for a video game to be successful, it has to be classified as a video game. You cannot come out with a video game and then not have nothing in there. And that's pretty much what Le Mans Ultimate is. All they have, so the only mode that I was able to play was the race weekend, and that's pretty much like an exhibition mode. I don't think it counts to your character, I don't think it counts to anything else. It's just pretty much you driving around for a little bit. No, actually, so they have it where you're doing the practice laps, which goes for about 2 hours. Then they have it where you gotta do the qualifying, and then that's when you're able to do the racing. So it ain't even like a traditional exhibition race where it just puts you in the race and you just start racing. No, they expecting you to actually sit down and play this game for hours. And it has, and so, okay, so let's just say I were to keep that game, right? And I'm not going to do the whole episode talking on this. Like, there's other games out there that are like this. And I am going to talk on, how there's just good games that exist where it's like they don't get that much attention. But anyways, let's just say I sit down, I play Le Mans Ultimate for all this time. And then when it comes time to actually play the other modes, which is like multiplayer. And so they got a multiplayer mode and then they got a co-op mode. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it should just be a quick join in, start playing. Nah, they're expecting you to sit down. So on top of you playing the race weekend for hours, then they're expecting you to sit down for like 20-30 minutes, or you have to time it right to do the multiplayer races. And then they have it where it's like your friends have to also have Le Mans Ultimate. And it ain't no telling whether or not your friends are them type of friends that are like me, where you go out and buy every single video game. But if you ain't got friends like that, then what makes you think that people are going to want to go out and buy your guys' game just so they can play it that one time when a friend asks them to? And if you think I'm going to go around and gift all my friends a copy of your guys' video game, that's not going to happen. At all. So my thing is this. I'm like, with games like that, your game, and that's the part that upsets me about that game, is that that game came out earlier this year. They already got DLCs for it, and it's an early access game. I'm like, yeah, that's why I plan on doing a video talking on that, because I'm like, that's not right. There are going to be a lot of different video games I compare that game to, where I'm like, even one that I can think of right now, the latest Gran Turismo game. I might have my ill feelings towards that game, but at least that game got content. Even the past previous Gran Turismo games got more content than Le Mans Ultimate. And I'm like, to me, that's just crazy. But anyways, I mean, there's so many different games that I'm played where it's like, fam, I know that, and the crazy thing about it is, like, yeah, there have been some games that I played where they've been in early access, and they usually take some time for it to cook. But even when it does take that time to cook, still, there's nothing that's pretty much making it me go out and buy that game again. So that's why I'm like, I get so confused, because I'm like, fam, how is this even allowed? You know, it's like Xbox and PlayStation, I feel like that them more than anybody, it's like you guys should definitely be checking out these games. And there's games that I done bought on my Xbox where it's like, I don't even play those games no more. And then there's games that I do want to play, but it's like, fam, like you have games on there where it's like the developers don't even work on them no more, but they're still available to be purchased. Like one game, for an example, Elite Dangerous. That's a game where it's still available on Xbox, but the developers don't even do any updates to it. And let's just see if they do have like a thing. When did the last Elite Dangerous update come out for Xbox? Okay, nope, that don't tell me anything. Okay, version history, why did they not just have, alright, so let me just ask, Chat GPT, because I'm like, you go and Google stuff, and it's like, fam, what is this? Because this ain't even got nothing to do with the question. So, anyways, the most recent Elite Dangerous update for Xbox was Update 18, released on October 22nd. This update introduced the Cobra MKV, a new addition to the Cobra series, bringing the latest aerospace technology to the game. Prior to that, Update 1805 was released on May 16th, addressing various fixes. So is this for the Xbox? Because I feel like they're like that, because I'm like, I feel like that they would have been talking about this, because I'm like, I ain't seen no updates for this game. I thought they stopped updating this game a long time ago. Alright, hold on. Did they stop updates for Elite Dangerous Xbox? Let's just see what pops up. On March 10, 2022, Frontier CEO David Braben announced on the company's forum that all further content development for a console version of Elite Dangerous was being canceled, citing the need to move the game's story forward by focusing on a single post Odyssey code base. So yeah, pretty much like they're not, I don't know what they were talking about for whatchamacallit, on Chat GPT, because I'm like, fam, I'm like, you guys, y'all definitely, I'm like, yeah, chat, they messed it up a little bit, but anyways, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that game doesn't get updated no more. They don't have that Odyssey stuff on the PC, or that the PC version has on console. So it's like, why is that game still being sold? And then what trips me out is that, like, with Xbox and PlayStation, it's like, yeah, you guys, it's like you got the recent games and that's about it. But it's like all these old games, you would think, and I'm like, I feel like that there are things to blame with both Xbox and PlayStation 2, because I'm like, okay, well, none of the new games are good, so let's just have it where we play the old games. You have it where Xbox takes these games away after some time, so they're not even able to be purchased anymore. So let's say there's a kid that's getting an Xbox for the first time, and then they're all like, oh, well, there's all these, there's Forza Horizon 5, oh, let me check out the other Forza Horizons, and they're not available to be purchased anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, like, fam, to me, that seemed like that would be a solid idea, because I just don't understand, how could you guys raise the price of Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, and you guys are taking away games? PlayStation Plus, I'm like, you guys barely even have any games. I'm saying, it's like the games, I feel like that a person, yeah, like, in my opinion, I feel like that Xbox, they got more playable video games than PlayStation. And I'm like, man, it's stuff like that where I'm like, that just doesn't even make any sense. Where there's like literally, because I had to, so throughout this year, there's this retro game store that I've been shopping at where they got like a gang of video games. But no, I got an Xbox 360 from them, and then I got PlayStation 1, 2, 3, yeah, pretty much like a gang of PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. And then I also got a gang of Xbox and Xbox 360 games. And I'm thinking to myself, like, when I look at these video games and then see the video games that are coming out today, I'm like, fam, to me, that just doesn't even make any sense. You had, like, fully functional, developed video games, and it just seems like the games that are coming out now, it's like, you'll be lucky to even get some playable content out of that game. You know, and I feel like that, yeah, it's like developers are really taking advantage of gaming's like new system now, where it's like, to me, I just feel like that where gaming should be at is that we should definitely be going forward when it comes to gaming development. But it seems like that you guys, it's like you went beyond the point of backwards. Like, I'm saying, like, I look at some video games like the video game Star Citizen, where they say that video game's been in development for like 12 years now, and I'm like, I've never heard of a video game being in development for that long. I have seen video games in, or early access or development for a long period of time, but it's like not that long. And then when you look it up, they say, yeah, Star Citizen, that's the only game that's been in development for the longest. But I think the only other game where it's like, and I felt like that they were just trying to add as much content as they possibly could in that game, but 7 Days to Die, that's the only other game that I can think of where it's like it was in early access for a long period of time. Like, I did ask Google that question, like, what game's been in early access and for the longest, and they said other games that have been in early access for multiple years include Kerbal Space Program and DayZ. And I'm like, both of those games, I don't even think them games are in early access anymore. Let me look it up real quick, this Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, it's like this game, that game came out back in 2015. Yeah, that's not in early access no more. Same with DayZ. I know DayZ ain't in early, because I think I remember when they were hyping that up when it left early access. I think there are some things that they could add to that game. But yeah, overall though, it's like, yeah, that game's not even in early access. And I'm like, and that game's been out for a fat minute now. Hold on for a second. Release date. I remember when they don't even have like the early access release date thing no more. I thought, at least I remember when DayZ, I feel like DayZ was in early access. That's crazy, because I'm like, this game didn't release until 2018. That game's been out for years. Because I actually remember buying that game prior. Yeah, that was like some of the first few. Hold on for a second, because I'm like, no, actually, I was going to look it up on my gaming channel, but I'm like, no, I actually don't remember. I think that game had to have come out before 2015 or something, because I was like, I remember watching content on DayZ all the way back then. I even remember buying and playing that game back then. So I'm like, yeah, that game ain't released until 2018. So, but I wonder, they might have like a thing where it says on, like, do they have a Wikipedia? They do have a Wikipedia page. So yeah, that game, well, hold on for a second, because there is all like, hold on, gameplay. Nope, that don't tell me. Release. Okay, there we go. The first publicly available development build was released on December 16, 2013 during the alpha development stage through Steam's early access program at a cheaper price than when it was finally released. So there is that. But I remember when it came out, it was a mod for the one game Arma 2. So yeah, I'm like, that game it's been out for a fat minute. But at least I can say that with DayZ, if they wanted to come out with a DayZ 2, they can do that, you know. And with that Kerbal Space Program, I think they did come out with a part 2 of that game. So there's games that I just feel like they have, and I honestly think that's one of the main reasons why you don't see Star Citizen being available on those stores, because it's like you're taking, the thing is this, yeah, you might not be taking advantage of the stores, but you're definitely taking advantage of the gamers. Because I'm like, to me, I just don't, that's something that I've seen, that it's like, this game done made $700 million, and it's like, and you guys, where has that money gone to? Because if you say that the game, if it went into the video game development, then it's like, what are you guys trying to develop? Because I'm saying, there should be no video game in history besides, I had to say, Grand Theft Auto that I can think of where it has that much like money being put into it and stuff. But that was after the fact, not before the fact of the game's full release. Like, I just remember when Grand Theft Auto 5, when it released for the first time, and then even talking on Red Dead Redemption 2, because those were Rockstar, like, those are their last two good games. And I remember when Grand Theft Auto 5 released that, I was like, bruh, this is so amazing. This is dope. And then when Red Dead Redemption 2, when it released, I was like, fam, the physics, I'm just curious to see where Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be at, because I'm like, hopefully Rockstar Games is not like, oh, but the thing is this, that's why I honestly truly do believe, though, with Grand Theft Auto 6, that when that game does come out, I feel like it's going to show them that it don't matter whether it's a small developing team or a big, because I ain't seen where small developing teams done worked on video games, and they come out with a good game. For an example, there's the one game, Spaceborne 2, where I had fun with that, and then there's the one game I have to say I played a lot that this year, but Supermarket Sim, and I wonder if that game is made by one person or multiple people. I mean, if it is made by multiple people, I'm like, then yes, it's a good game. But hold on for a second, let me see. Nocta Games. I wonder who. Hold on for a second. Nocta Games. Let's see. They don't probably have no Wikipedia page. Knocked on Steam. I ain't never heard. It's like a shooting game. No, that's not it. My friend and I, maybe it's made by multiple people, I don't know, but overall though, I'm like, they show where it's all like, companies can work on smaller games, and then you got developers like Rockstar Games where it's like, okay, I wonder how many people work for Rockstar. I'm gonna see how many people work for Rockstar Games, and I'm gonna see how many people work for the Star Citizen. But anyways, Star Citizen devs. Yeah, let's just look that up. Cloud Imperium Games. Okay, so let's look them up. All right, exit out of that. Rockstar Games, list of Rockstar Games. Okay, maybe I could just go and click on their thing there. Rockstar Games. Number of employees. Okay, so over 2,000 as of 2018. And let's see where they don't have like no thing on how many employees. All right, so let's just Google it. How many employees does, okay, so let's see. Over 1,100. So my thing is this, whether it's less or more, it's like, fam, I feel like that's enough to where it's like hold on, there's like, okay, so that was 2022. So it's like, yeah, you guys got a decent amount of employees, probably still hiring people, but it's like, fam, my thing is this. It's like a little less than what Rockstar has, but it's like, fam, still, you guys got enough employees to have it where that game, talking on Star Citizen, that game should have came out a long time ago. So that's why I'm like, fam, like, yeah, you got developers where they take advantage of the gamers, and you got developers that be taking advantage of these platforms, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation, because I'm like, man, to me, it just doesn't make sense where we're at right now with gaming. I feel like we should be in a much more better spot right now with gaming, but yeah, it's just you got some developers out there where it's all like they pretty much don't care what people think, and they're like, we're just going to release whatever, and if you got a problem with it, then you just got a problem with it. Because I'm like, my thing is this, if I'm working or releasing a video game, I want to make sure of it that it's one of the greatest games that that's ever been put out, that I haven't put out. I want this to be one of the greatest games, and my thing is this, if there's bugs and problems with the game, I'm going to fix those bugs and problems. But my thing is this, I done played games before, and if we're even talking on like old games from back then, where it's like, how is it that you guys didn't have the technology? And my thing is this, you would think that you would go back to that technology that was used back then and use that to develop video games. Because I'm like, how is it that video games from like back in the PlayStation 2 era, you would have thought that games from back then would have been buggy and glitchy, and the games that are coming out now are some of the most smoothest games possible? But it's like, you mean to tell me a game that came out 20 years ago is smoother than a game that came out 20 years later? Like, how is that? Explain that to me, But anyways, because like, all right, so for an example, which Call of Duty came out in 2004? 2004 COD. Call of Duty, was that the very first video game to ever come out? They say it was in 2003. What came out next? Hold on for a second. Call of Duty franchise. Let's see. So they ain't released no Call of Duty in 2004. So okay, so yeah, all right. So you mean to tell me a Call of Duty from like 21 years ago plays better than a Call of Duty that came out now? That don't make no sense to me. So that's what I'm just saying. It's like, fam, and it's like, I imagine you guys got a lot of developers working on Call of Duty games. So I'm just saying, if you guys got all these different employees, you guys need to be coming out with better games. Because if not, then I'm like, then Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam, you guys need to start getting on these guys for releasing these games and these games not being good. So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode, and peace.